Welcome into the New Orleans Saints podcast. You'll hear from players, coaches, broadcasters, and writers that cover the NFL on a daily basis. The New Orleans Saints podcast starts right now. Here's your host, Erin Summers.
It's time to hit the seas for an adventure and experience of a lifetime. It is the Saints Legends Fan Cruise coming April 2025. In this episode of the Saints podcast, we are going to dive into what that experience will be like, find out who is going to be on the boat, like former Saints linebacker Pat Swilling. He actually joins me on the podcast today to talk about why he had to sign up for the first ever Saints Legends Fan Cruise. I'll also be joined by the CEO of Seaside Events, Robert Chamberlin, who is helping put together this awesome event. It's a 7-night cruise leaving out of New Orleans, heading to the Western Caribbean, Costa Maya, Mexico, Harvest Caye, Belize, Roatan, Honduras, and Cozumel, Mexico. I'm not going to give away all the details, but there are going to be a ton of opportunities to hang out with the legends that are aboard and just enjoy time with fellow Saints fans while exploring everything that the cruise has to offer. Let's dive right in. I really appreciate two special guests today joining me on the New Orleans Saints podcast. We have Robert Chamberlin of Seaside Events and, of course, legendary former Saints linebacker Pat Swilling. Welcome, both of you. Robert, how are you?
Good. Thank you. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing well.
Well, we're here because both of you are going to be a part of a big event, first ever for the Saints next year in the Saints Legends Cruise. It's going to be April 6th through 13th, 2025. And it's going to be a really exciting event. Robert, you've been a part of this. You are one of the partners for the Saints in putting this whole event together. What does this Saints Cruise entail?
Well, thanks for the question. I think the way we look at it is really a celebration of all things New Orleans Saints. You know, it's the team, it's the history, the legends. Obviously, I think is the biggest part of the entire celebration. It's an opportunity, I think, for the fans to get together, with other fans, with all the legends, and basically just do a little bit of looking back into history, where things are today, kind of looking at the future as well, and so that's really the essence of the fan cruise. It just happens to be it takes place on a cruise ship, right? So I think that's kind of the twist, the different part of it. It's a 7-day cruise sailing right out of New Orleans on the Norwegian Getaway. Like you said, Erin, it's April of next year. 7 days at sea, 4 amazing ports. There's a whole ton of activities and events that are lined up. Kind of giving the fans the opportunity really to interact as much as they can with the legends. And giving the legends as well an opportunity to kind of get together with their ex-colleagues to say, and interact with the fans, and all that on board a beautiful ship, sailing the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to be going to, Costa Maya and Roatan and Cozumel, which we're going to have a great beach party over there. Lots of activities on board. You got to keep in mind, there's the fan experience and the legend experience going on, but there's a whole cruise going on as well. And so we want everybody to have an opportunity to both enjoy the fan experience, the legend experience, as well as the cruise itself. We're, great partner of the Saints. You guys have been great, very supportive. This whole idea really started last year. We had a lot of conversations early part of last year, and it really all came to fruition. We launched about 6 weeks ago, more or less. And the response from the fan base has been tremendous. We had an opportunity to be in the city during the Crescent City Classic 10K race, just promoting the fan cruise. Amazing experience. And just a couple of days after that, we made the public announcement, the press release went out. And from that point on, it's just been huge. People are just reaching out. A lot of people getting information, booking their cabins. But, I always go back to, to me, the main draw of this obviously is, Pat and the guys who are coming on board, right? I think that there's so much history. There's so much legacy of the team, all the great moments, all that. And that's really what this is all about is kind of reliving those glory days, not just of the Legends themselves, but the team, the different times, everything that went on, and sharing that with the fans. So I know it was a short question, a long answer, but there's a lot to unpack when it comes to this event.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of exciting things to be a part of and to go to the cruise for, one of them being the opportunity to meet Pat Swilling. And I don't know, do you have any fond memories of playing here?
Oh, Lord, it's fun. Man. Tons of them. And I think that's what, the fans are going to be excited about, an opportunity maybe to sit down with maybe me and have a drink and talk about some old times and some of the games that we played in. And, I ran into a gentleman, I guess, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He had already heard about it. He wanted to know where he could get his ticket at. Him and his wife were excited about it. So, I really think that you guys are going to do well. And I think the boat probably will fill up with a bunch of New Orleans fans, and we're going to have a great time. But I'm looking forward to it. But, I think so many fun memories, and also seeing all the guys. Ricky Jackson will be there, and Dalton, and Jim Wilkes and some of the other guys, and also a chance for us and our families to kind of spend some time together and also interact with the fans. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be okay. We may have to rope a couple of them off, but other than that, I think the fans will have a great time. They're going to have a great time.
Yes, you're not just coming for the beach party.
Oh, no. Well, that's going to be fun as well. But, our fans are so wonderful here in New Orleans, even to today. And even when I played, it was such a great time. So, that you'll always have a great time with the Who Dat fans and the Who Dat Nation.
No, it's definitely going to be a fun time. And I know that there's some special prizes that you'll get if you sign up early. The first 50 fans are going to get something unique. Robert, how can you sign up, and what is the perks of doing it early?
Well, I would say the first step is to visit the website, which is saintslegendscruise.com, right? And you're absolutely right. So we have a special promotion coming out of the gates. The first 50 bookings or so get seats for the Superdome, and they get to choose the game. They get to choose the game. It's not a fixed game. We were waiting just a couple of weeks ago for the NFL to publish a schedule, so that came out. So everybody who's booked already can reach out to us and basically say, hey, here's the game I want to go to. We got some great seats. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the fact that, they get to choose, we don't want to force anybody into one given game on a given day. We say, listen, you can let us know what works for you. Go from there. And we do plan, as we move kind of, closer into the, preseason and into the season, start having different kind of promotions. They'll be coming out as well. So it's not the first one. There's lots of prizes that we want to give out, lots of promotion we want to put in place, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure everybody looks at this as it's a great opportunity they don't want to miss out on, right? It's the first official cruise for the Saints and the Legends and fans together. And we want to put, like Pat was saying, we want to sell out, as much as we can, obviously, because, even though we want to make this a recurring event, being part of the first one, there's something to be said about that, right? And there'll be lots of giveaways that they're going to get on board the ship. The moment they hop on, they're going to have an event shirt with the logo and the year, the whole thing. They're going to have an opportunity for autograph sessions and beach parties. We're going to be watching lots of highlights. So Pat, you're going to be showcased a lot on that big screen. Believe me, a lot of those moves are going to be there. And things that happen both on the ship and off the ship. On the beach party, we're going to have welcome aboard and farewell pool parties, dinners with the play. I mean, this is going to be a lot of different things. So, if somebody can look back a few years back and say, hey, I was part of the first one. I didn't miss out on that one. That's the message you want to put across for the next few months. Give everybody that opportunity to say, I was on the inaugural fan cruise with the Saints.
Okay, so a couple questions. How many people are going to pick the Thursday night game against the Denver Broncos here in the Superdome?
We're taking names and writing them down by date. I don't have the latest number, but I'll keep you posted on that.
I mean, that's
going to be a hot game. It is. With Sean coming back, I'm excited about that one. So that should be a fun game. Why
did you want to be a part of this first one? What drew you to this experience?
Yeah, because it's the first. It was interesting. And when I first heard it, I thought about it. all those fans in 7 days. And the more and more I thought about it, I said, it should be fun. And I think everyone's going to enjoy it, especially, as an older guy, we don't get the fanfare that the players, get, even though they still love us here in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast. Sometimes I think I'm still playing, but being a part of this and being, I think, one of the first guys, all of us that being a part of it, we're excited about it. I was at a golf tournament that Dalton Hilliard had for his son, and all the guys were talking about it. They can't wait. And I think we're going to have a great time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You mentioned a lot of the things that fans can get out of this, but how unique is this opportunity to be there and like you said, just have a drink with somebody who used to play for the Saints, see them in this type of environment and not just watch them on the field.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, and that's one of the reasons that the event takes place on a ship. And I think that's exactly the point, Erin, well put there, because a lot of the, the fan and even current players, legends, alumni experiences are usually short-lived. It's usually they go to a game, they watch them play, or they watch them on an event, get an autograph or something, and have a selfie. And it's usually a kind of a quick in and out type of thing. Now, with this event is completely different. It's basically, it's 7 days on a cruise, and Pat's absolutely right. It is, it's 7 days after all, but at the same time, it's not overwhelming where people actually have the opportunity to enjoy both the fan experience and the cruise. So you're combining a lot of different things, saying, hey, I love the team. I'm a loyal fan for decades. I want to be on board. I want to hang with these guys. I want to talk to them, kind of relive those moments. But you know what? At the same time, I want to have some fun. I want to go and watch a show. I want to have dinner. I want to go and go to different beaches and all that. I want to watch. I want to go to the casino or whatever. There's so much to do, and that's the beauty of it, right? And it's really, at the end of the day, we try to put as much information on our website as we can. But I think people also in their mind is sort of saying, "Oh my God, I can do this and so much more," right? So I think that's the whole idea, and being part again of, like I said before, the first one is going to be something special.
Yeah, Pat, you mentioned a couple other players that that are going, but how many legends total will there be there?
Well, the latest count is 21 and counting.
That's great.
And Usama Young was the last guy that we put on. They're all on the website, and hopefully you've seen your profile, Pat. We want to make sure there's a whole dedicated, not just one, but multiple, let's say 21, maybe 22 pages altogether, just dedicated to these guys. Because, like I said, it's really all about them. Each one has their picture, their name, there's a profile, a little bit of history and all that. And the whole idea as we move, like I said, towards the preseason season, as we get closer and closer to the event, is we want to put more information on those pages. So if there's anything people want to see, or Pat, you, Ricky, whatever, you guys want to put something in there, put a comment, absolutely. We can do that, because we want the fans to have as much information in advance as possible. Of course, when they get on the ship, there's going to be more information shared with them as well. But that's really, it's a lot of information in there. And for a lot of people, it's the first time they've ever cruised. So we acknowledge that as well. We want to make sure that, for the first time cruisers, there's information on, what it is that it is to be 7 days on a ship. What do you need to know? The program is going to come out. Everybody will have the opportunity to download the event app. So you're going to have it right on your fingertips, the entire day to day, hour by hour, all that. One thing that we do, plan, and Pat, you'll be part of these conversations, is reach out to all the legends, all 21 of them, and get their input, get their ideas. These guys know the fans better than anybody, and having their input on, yeah, we have a program, we know more or less what we want to do, but there's so much room that, hey, we want to incorporate different sessions, different events, activities, and all that to bring everybody together. So that's the whole idea. It's a very interactive event, from the get-go. And like I said, the legends are the center of it all. So getting their input and their ideas is going to be key.
Can you have a crawfish boil on a ship?
That's interesting.
It was ordered already, yes.
Really?
That's going to be fun.
Well, we had a conversation with the chef. We'll see how far that can go.
All right, take us maybe advance to April and maybe a story that you would share on the cruise about your time here with the Saints, one of your memories.
Oh, Lord. You know, and most of them are our fans would probably remember the NFC championship, our first NFC West championship. You know, I have a lot of memories, but when you talk about fans and all they've gone through as far as not winning before we got there in the late 80s and winning that first NFC championship, we played the Cardinals out there. And I'll never forget, we celebrated out there. But when we got home, I mean, we couldn't even make it to the tarmac. There were people everywhere, miles from miles of just people, and it was a great feeling bringing that home to New Orleans and the Gulf Coast and all of Louisiana, just because of all the different reasons why. I mean, there were people crying. I'll never forget that. Just the emotions. And I think those are some of the people that'll be on the boat. They'll remember those times, and then we can share more of that with them. So, you know, just countless memories, and it was a fun time. You know, we won a lot of football games. Unfortunately, we didn't get the one we wanted with the ring. They got it later, but we always think, I think most of the players who were here, that we were a part of getting it started. You know, I never saw the bags. Thank the Lord. I never saw, a saint with a bag on their head. And that's what we wanted to make sure that they never, went back there. And we're not going back anymore.
No.
The Saints Nation is here, and they're well and alive.
Well, I mean, now that I have you here, Robert, I'm sorry, but I got to ask, what are your expectations for this upcoming season?
I hope to get back to the playoffs. That's what we all are. I think Derek, with his second year, I think it's a great opportunity now for him to grow. He's in a new offense. He's in the West Coast offense, which I like for him. I think it'll be good for him. And he has an offensive coordinator who's dad, and he's also have done it for years. They kind of, made up this West Coast offense. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm hoping and praying that we get back to the playoffs. I think everyone in Louisiana and all the Saints fans are that's what we want. We want to get back with a chance to get back to the championship.
Absolutely. It has been a couple of years.
It has.
Are there going to be any current players that go on the cruise?
Not as of right now. I think it's more about the history side of the team, right? And but absolutely, I think it's we've had this conversation with the front office and everybody at the Saints. I think it's something that we would want to incorporate in the future as well, because I think the whole idea is you want to keep, actually the guys that come in and be kind of a permanent fixture of the event itself, but bring more guys in as well, give them an opportunity. I think for a lot of the new guys or the current guys, it's a great opportunity as well to do something a little bit different, still interacting with the fans and the team and all that, but in a completely different environment. And Pat, you brought a good point. It's also a great opportunity for you guys to come on board with friends and family and all that. I mean, this I think is a great. There's already a couple of guys that said, "Hey, I want to bring my kids," and absolutely, that's part of it. This is as much of a family event as anything. It's multi-generational. We welcome that. I think it's a great thing. I mean, the team's been around for a long time, so there's a lot of history there, and having the granddads and the dads and the sons and all that together. Absolutely. We'll accommodate for that. I think there's room for everybody. It's a big ship. We got plenty of cabins. So everybody's welcome. Yeah.
How cool would that be, maybe Pat, for you or for some of the other players to bring their children and for them to see their dad back in this environment with the Saints fans and how much the fans adored them?
Exactly. I think it'd be fun. I think it's going to be fun. I have a large family, and we're growing every day. And we look forward to more and more people are calling me. My brother's going. Two of my brothers are going, and my mother and father-in-law are going. And every day somebody keeps telling me they're going. So we're going to fill it up. But
it's just going to be the Swilling Legends crew.
Absolutely. Yeah, we welcome that. Yeah. I mean, we get a whole deck.
Yeah, and they get a chance to see, honestly, how the fans really, because a lot of them were kids, they were younger, so they really didn't get to interact, or someone wasn't even born, so you know how that goes. But I think all of it together in the gumbo pot, so to speak, is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, it is multi-generational after all, so absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, and not saying anything about you, but for some of the players, it might have been a little while since the fans have seen them.
Right.
So are the headshots and stuff available for fans when they get on the boat so they can identify who all the legends are and what they look like now, not just with a helmet on?
Oh yes, yeah. We'll have a lot of that information, because one thing we plan to do is, just imagine you get on the ship for the very first time, you just checked in, you go into your cabin, you open the door, the first thing you see is 2 gift bags on the bed. And inside that is an entire program of what's going to be expected for the next 7 days. And part of that is going to be pictures and profiles of each one of the legends. So let's say before and current pictures. So to answer the question is yes. And that's going to be throughout the event itself. And obviously game day pictures are going to be a big thing, because I think that's one thing people love to have for, autograph sessions as well. But yeah, current pictures as well. That makes a lot of sense, obviously,
I got a question. Are they able to bring pictures and things? Or are you guys letting them bring their own memorabilia?
So right now, the idea is that we'll have 8x10s from each one of you guys that will be handed out for autographs and all that. But I wouldn't be surprised somebody may bring something that has a special emotional connection to them, something that means a lot. I mean, I've seen cases of people bringing in a really, really old football that was autographed by one of the alumni when he was a rookie. He's bringing it on board 30 or 40 years later to get it autographed for the second time. So there's that emotional connection that I think makes a lot of sense as well. So I'm sure there's going to be.
Will it be stuff that they can buy? Because I'm pretty sure some people are going to want to buy those things as well.
Yeah, we'll have some merchandise opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Because I was asked that from a gentleman also about a week ago. I was at a barbecue.
Right.
And they were asking, will I have pictures and stuff? I said, well, I'm pretty sure they'll have them on the boat.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have. So it's also part of the gift bag that everybody gets when they get on board. There's going to be a number of things that are in the bag itself, and there'll be some extras as well. There'll be some footballs that have the event logo on them, and then they have plenty of room for autograph. They have, there's going to be a whole series of things. So nobody's going to walk off that ship empty-handed. Believe me, they'll have a lot of stuff to carry on. They may need a second suitcase just for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it fits in their suitcase, they can bring it to get signed, but they might need more room on the way back. So they might have to bring 2. You mentioned some of the stuff that's included in your cabin as you get there, welcome gifts, but what is the cabin price, and then what's included in that?
So on the website, there's different types of cabins, and the price varies a bit depending on the type of cabin they get, all the way from what they call an interior or an inside cabin up to an ocean view, a balcony, and we even have a few suites and kind of high-end cabins. And the occupants could be, from 1 person up to 4, so double, triple, quad. The starting price is around $2,300 per person. What I always say is, when it comes to pricing, it's what's included in the price that we always, have to look at, right? So obviously, like we said before, there's a whole cruise going on, so everything that's included on the cruise, the accommodations, the meals, entertainment, their taxes, their fees, all that stuff. But then there's a whole fan experience element as well. They get an open bar, they get Wi-Fi, all of the autograph sessions, the beach parties, the welcome aboard, the farewell parties, all the events on the ship, everything that's taking place, all of that is included. So there's no add-ons that anybody needs to worry about the moment they get on board the ship. So whatever they saw on the website, whatever is advertised in there, that's included on the price, right? And I think to us, the way we look at it is great value pricing. We don't want to price it to a point that people just say, oh, it's too much, because it's not, once they understand everything that's included. And it just depends on, everybody pays pretty much the same in the cabin. It just depends on how many people are in the cabin itself. And if somebody wants, to have a maybe more economical cabin, there's options for that. Somebody wants to, say, hey, this is a special occasion, I want to spend a little bit more, there's an opportunity for that as well. But the one thing we do emphasize is the moment you set foot on the ship, even if you only have $1 in your pocket, you're not going to spend more, because everything's included. And that includes, like I said, is an open bar and the Wi-Fi and taxes, gratuities, everything that people typically would have to pay additional for when they go on a cruise. It's all in there, so it's worry-free, really. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to throw in a couple ideas. Maybe we should do karaoke, a dance party, limbo. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Maybe you could win one of those.
Maybe that should be fun, though. I mean, and all those kind of things. I think the fans and the interaction with us is going to be great. So I know you guys got a lot of ideas about that. I can't wait to see how our guys enjoy themselves. Some of them are a little rowdy, so this should be fun.
Oh yes. I we do plan a few surprises that so one of the nice things is, the cruise line that's basically hosting us, Norwegian Cruise Lines, they're being great at giving us a lot of their venues on board the ship. So we have access to the main theater, big massive plays, hundreds of people fit in there with a great stage. So we got a few surprises both for legends and fans of what's going to happen on those sessions. But there's going to be a lot of video highlights. There's going to be a lot of profiling these guys, but there's also going to be some fun games, a little friendly competition, we like to call it, between fans and legends. I can see Pat doing a few things up on stage, but all in the name of fun. That'll be great. And the great thing is, the ship is huge. There's so many things people can do. Somebody wants to kind of lay low, they can do that. Somebody wants to be sporty, they can do that. Is going to be great. So that interaction between fans and legends, and that's going to be from morning to night. The good thing is it's not going to be overwhelming. So people still have a chance to do other stuff as well, because it is spread out through the 7 days.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to start saving my money now so I can get in one of those cabins and see you there, Pat.
I know that's right. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Thank you guys so much for giving us some of the info and just sharing what the experience is going to be like for these fans.
Oh, absolutely. And thanks, Erin, for putting this call together. Appreciate it. Pat, once again, hey, man, so glad you're part of this. And I have a feeling these calls are going to happen once a year for multiple years. So let's just get used to it. So thank you.
All right. Sounds great. I look forward to it.
Appreciate Robert and Pat spending some time talking to me about what all of the cruise is going to entail. You can tell that they're both extremely excited about it. I know Pat is raring to go. He was talking about it with me on his way out. He is really excited to be there with all the other Saints players. So let's get into who else is already signed up to attend. Brett Maxey, Courtney Roby, Craig Robertson, Dalton Hilliard, Fred McAfee, Jim Wilkes, Joe Horn, Joe Johnson, John Stinchcomb, Leroy Glover, Michael Lewis, Pat Swilling, as mentioned, Randall Gay, Ricky Jackson, Scott Shanley, Cedric Ellis, Tyrone Hughes, Van Jakes, Garrett Hartley, Wayne Martin, and Usama Young. Now, that is not all that's going to be there, but that is a long list already. You heard Robert say that 21 players had signed up. That number can continue to grow, and there are a ton of perks to signing up early. So if you think you may want to attend or you just want some more information, head to www.saintslegendscruise.com. You can find out all of the information there. It is going to be a blast. And like I said, hopefully I get to go as well. Thanks for joining me on this edition of the Saints podcast. Have a great rest of the week and weekend.
Thanks for listening to the New Orleans Saints podcast. Join us 3 times per week on NewOrleansSaints.com, the Saints mobile app, or you can download the podcast on iTunes. We'll see you next time, right here on the New Orleans Saints podcast.